It's alive!
Hello, everybody. We are live right now. It is Brian and Eric Don't Belong Here. It's like the Hardy Boys, but sweaty.
Yeah, I'm actually very sweaty right now. Our office AC has been off for 3 hours. Not doing well.
We're heading into fall. We don't need that AC anymore.
Really excited. I have 4 sweaters on right now.
We're ready for this shit. This is as I said up top. We're live at the moment. This is Brian and Eric Don't Belong Here, a weekly exploration of spooky stuff we don't even necessarily believe in, but still get scared by, because despite being both just about to be 30, and you a little over, we are still frightened little boys in all ways.
Yeah, I'm over the line, and I can confirm that things only get scarier. I'm more scared than I was before.
It only gets worse from here. So here's the thing. This is a live call-in show. This week we are actually talking about childhood fears. And if you have just something that spooked the shit out of you as a kid, whether it's rational or not, call in and tell us about it. It's you can call in at 518-282-4762. That's 518-282-4762. We'll be taking calls a little later in the show, but right now, very importantly, I want to introduce our guest and good friend, Willie Muse.
Hello, and roommate. You left out roommate.
And
God
roommate.
Damn it. Not you, Eric. You leave.
I have to go. That makes it seem like not less professional, but
I don't think so. I think that everyone lives together in the profession that we're in.
Willie meant a metaphorical roommate.
No, I meant real, but I just meant that we don't make enough money not to all live together.
That's incredibly true. Let's see, we got a couple calls off the board, but we're going to take them a little later. So Willie, College Humor, Spooky Show.
Yeah.
You were a man all over the place.
Yeah, I am. I'm technically not here right now. I'm in my void, or whatever I call it back in the show.
Oh, right.
I should know, yeah. So I'm allowed to leave. I have...
We did have to do a ritual.
Yeah.
It was extensive. Eric is still bleeding.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. There's a lot of lore that I don't keep track of my show, so, yeah. I don't understand the logic personally, and I'm the one who's making it.
Honestly, that's the best way to let everybody else put the lore together for you.
That's my hope. That's my hope will happen. But yeah, so I work at College Humor, and I do the Spooky Show because College Humor said they didn't want it.
Oh, no.
Well, they did not.
Wait, is that true? They fucked up.
What happened was they said it would be too hard to do. And then out of spite, that's the reason I did it, was because I wanted to say that. They were like, we can't do this. And I said, yeah, we can. And so I did it. And they were right, because it takes a lot more work than I was expecting.
I was going to say, so let's start like from the beginning here. What is Spooky Show to somebody who's never heard of it before?
So Spooky Show is it is a show where I talk about spooky stuff. And basically I basically just wanted an excuse to wear costumes, and so I kind of retrofitted it around that. And when I was thinking about, like, how could I do something kind of spooky involved, like, one of the things I thought would be interesting was answering the question, why do witches ride brooms? And so I was like, okay, I'll have an episode where I answer that, and then I'll go from there. And so it's basically I answer questions like that. Or I basically just go over the topic. Like, I choose a topic of something that's kind of occult or scary. Or I did one episode on social anxiety, which was kind of stretching it a little bit. But I still think it fit. And,
it worked. I remember people connecting with that one.
People like that one better than the ones that I spent. That one was also... That one was also, I was like, you know what? I don't have enough time to do research. And also, here's the thing, I'm really bad at research. So every now and then I'll do something where I don't research it at all. I just write something out of my butt. And those seem to go over better than the ones that I spend a lot of work on. So I don't know what that means, but that's how that one came about. And yeah, so it's basically just spooky topics. And
it's funny. I was going to say what's interesting about it is that a lot of it does seem to be kind of like more historical or almost like factual based deep dives into some of these kind of spooky or occult topics a little bit.
It has taken on kind of a life of it like I cannot stress enough how much it is literally just an excuse for me to wear costumes.
Mission accomplished.
Well, because literally when I was pitching shows to like when it was like a job thing that I was trying to pitch a show, I was like, people aren't going to accept me as a human, so I'm going to need to dress in costume, and that's kind of where it came from. And I'm trying to think. I think you are the reason that the eye makeup came about. I wear eye makeup because in like one of our social meetings, that we came up with the idea that focus on eyes will get better. Get better, and so I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna draw attention to my eyes. So it's kind of like a hodgepodge of stuff that I wasn't expecting it to be. If I could just sit there and just like talk for 2 hours, that would be my ideal show. But I feel like I'm trying to. Well, it's actually curious because I'm trying to make it. It's my attempt at making a popular show that's not going quite as I planned.
I'm impressed with the views.
They're pretty good and they're growing. It seems
they're not growing.
They're not. I think I looked at them in not the chronological order.
No, they have like a steady stream of like new growths, but from the last episode, cut in half the viewership. I'm blaming it on an algorithm thing, but
it's a real thing. The algorithm is for real.
Yep.
All of your lives are controlled by computers.
It's true.
That's the real horror.
Yeah, that's the real spooky show.
That's gonna be the last episode. Is gonna be just
giving
myself up to the singularity.
Sick.
So you mentioned the costumes and the excuse to wear costumes, and the costumes are incredibly impressive. Yeah. It's a really simple show format-wise. It's a guy talking to a camera, but you're in incredible costumes that are, and you mentioned up top, we are roommates, so there is glitter and pieces of fake blood usually strewn about our apartment at all times. How much goes into these costumes?
More than I entail. It's literally everything is just kind of like I have like a vague idea of what I want an episode to look like, and then I will sort of be like, that's a thing I could do, and it's usually not a thing I can do, and it just like kind of it's like it's something I'm like, oh, that's gonna be 10 minutes of. Like the first script I ever wrote was because I was like, I should just write down my thoughts, and like it'll like take me 10 minutes to write. Now the script is like the hardest part of the entire thing that I do. Like the costumes they take about, I don't even know anymore. It's just like. Are you
stitching? Are you doing
hot glue? Hot glue.
Hot glue, baby.
Hot glue is the best thing ever, and
that's crazy.
There's a lot of time. Well, there's a lot of. I kind of alternate it between like ones where I do a lot of work, and then like ones where I'm just like, fuck it. That's the other reason I did that social anxiety episode, is because I was working on a voodoo doll costume, which took me fucking forever. And the time I was gonna do the voodoo doll episode, I wasn't ready with the costume, so I was like,
that costume is elaborate.
I thought it was I don't know how to manage my time. I'm currently,
did not come to work for 4 days.
Currently, I'm doing an episode that requires me to make a clown costume, and I can tell you right now that is going to be the most elaborate costume I've ever done.
Have you seen that movie Clown on Netflix?
No.
Are you worried about that happening to you?
What is this movie, Clown?
It's a guy. I know the gist. I think it's a guy who puts on a clown nose and he becomes a clown.
He can't take it off. The clown for his kid's birthday party bails, so he takes out a very spooky clown costume from his basement and becomes the clown for the party and cannot unbecome the clown.
I think he also starts killing people, right?
Correct.
Okay, yeah.
That sounds like a first draft that nobody was like, "Yep, nope, this is good."
I think it's a good movie. I think it's a scary Netflix movie.
What I think it is, what I have heard, again, I've never seen it.
Yeah.
I've heard that it started as like AV Club joke or something that like turned into something, or it was like a fake trailer or something, but it didn't start out real. And then it's also the guy who directed Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Oh, interesting.
I think I could be talking out of my ass right now. I have a beer.
We do very little research. We say, I don't even know if that's the premise of the movie. I scrolled by it on Netflix 8 times. I've never
That's the
watched
same
it.
as seeing it.
Not sure why I'm more vocal than Eric on right now. I've never seen the movie. He has, so.
So back onto Spooky Show, what draws you to like specific topics?
Yeah.
I will say also, real fast, I apologize. Somebody is real thirsty to get on the line, and I'm so excited to talk to whoever you are once we get to calls.
Yay!
Keep calling. Keep calling.
Yeah, keep it up.
This is very exciting to see, like, a call.
It's happening again now.
Beautiful. What draws me to certain topics? I think... So I have, like, a baseline knowledge about a lot of the stuff that I talk about, and it's usually, like... based on, like, I feel like I'll have, like, one big point that I like, and then that kind of base it around that. So, like, and usually I'll find out it's wrong. Like, with the voodoo episode, my whole thing that I was, like, really surprised by was the fact that voodoo dolls aren't related to voodoo in any way. And then I wanted to, like, that was, like, okay, so that's, like, a thing where it's, like, you can, like... Yeah. My mind is so warped by the internet right now, so like I'm always thinking in like thumbnails and like nuggets of stuff. So like that was like the like thing. I was like, okay, that'll be what people share it for. It's like that voodoo is not related to voodoo, and then I found out that that's not entirely the case, and then I kind of like was too deep into it. Did not.
Gotcha.
So it's kind of like seeing that I had like. And just in terms of, like, spooky stuff, I've always liked spooky stuff. I've always thought that, like, Halloween and shit was, like, very cool. So just, like, in terms of, like, that kind of, like, aesthetic, I was very drawn to just kind of, like, I basically, when I was pitching shows to, in the outset, I was just like, Literally, I've always had a very strong connection to the word spooky. I feel like that describes me very well.
Sure.
Because it's like scary, but it's like kind of sweet at the same time, and that's kind of what I feel like I go for in life.
Hey, we're gonna deal with some morbid stuff, but we're gonna have some playful fun with it.
Exactly. I think it was. This is the most college thing to say ever, but it was when I was in college. Was like. You do that thing where you kind of try and, like, project yourself onto, like, the stuff that you like and, like, use the stuff that you like to, like, show who you are. And I had discovered, y'all familiar with Daniel Johnston?
No.
Okay, so he's...
Give me the Cliff's notes.
Daniel Johnston is, I was drawn to him because he has a very high voice. He's a like alternative singer who people kind of say he's outsider art, but he's also not. He's like a guy with just like horrible schizophrenia who also makes music, but he also makes kind of good music, but like you might have heard.
Does he make comics?
He does make comics.
I've
he makes
heard
a
of
frog. He has a frog named Jeremiah. That's like his
Was there a documentary about him?
Yes.
Kind of. Yeah. I remember
Okay,
the trailer.
this is vaguely coming back into my brain.
So he's like, and he had an album called It's Spooky, and I remember looking at that album and I was like, I like that word. I don't know what that means, but that word seems to define me very good. So that's where I kind of got that from. But yeah, Daniel Johnston is good. You might have heard him. He's on a commercial now. He has like a very sad song, like it's like da 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 da. It's like, I don't know. Screw you. Yeah,
and me and Brian were just nodding attentively, raptly into Willie's story.
Whatever. No, you've definitely heard some of his songs. A lot of them get covered too, because he sounds like a crazy person when he sings. Like that's kind of his draw. Is like you don't realize that the music is good until someone points out that it's good. But that it's.
I get what you mean. So if you were to encourage somebody to watch Spooky Show, which you should, it's very good.
Thank you so much.
What episode would you suggest, like, this is the best one?
What episode would I suggest is the best one?
Or at least a good place to start.
It changes. If I were to say a good place to start, I would say maybe the werewolf episode. It kind of changes because I'm very, like, I'll go in, I'll like rewatch them, and I'll have like an idea of what the best episode is, and then I'll rewatch it, and everything everyone does is garbage. So like you look at it, and like I think right now my favorite episode is the Mummy episode because that was the one that I hated the most upon making it.
Gotcha.
So when I go back to watch it, it's like my opinion only goes up from there. So
Why did you hate it? I like that one.
I felt really sweaty when recording it.
That would kill my mood.
I felt just kind of like it was mostly just the way the costume looked and the fact, like, I had a headband thing going on that was like supposed to be wrapped around my head. I didn't do it right, so I kind of looked like a suburban mom who was going to like a spin class, and like I just kind of was just like primed, just like, fuck the show, I don't want to do it right now when I was making it, and so I just had like a negative opinion of it, and then I like rewatched it. I was like, this is fine. Like, this is as good.
Yeah, it's a good
like, thank you so much. That's all I want to hear. That's all. Just tweet me good app. That's all I want to hear.
Can I ask a follow on?
Absolutely not.
Willie?
No.
I'm raising my hand. No, so one of the things I really like about your show that we talked about before was that it's kind of this historical or scientific take on a lot of occult topics. And we talked about this a little bit over Slack the other day. But I'm kind of curious about where you net out on the occult and the paranormal and what your relationship to all that stuff is.
I believe in it a lot. Like, so it ends up like I'm also very surprised every time I end up being like logical, because I very much believe in a lot of this stuff, or at least don't not believe in stuff, but I'm also very driven by my desire for people to like me. So like I will do my best to try and like do what I think people will want to hear. So like it's I'm trying to be as fair and balanced, and so like I'll read as much as I can, and this will be like what I come up with, and I'll be like, fuck it, I just wanted vampires to be real, but like here's like the best case scenario, so I'll do that. And so I believe it all. I've said stuff that I don't necessarily believe in, even though it's factually correct, and I
meaning about like occult topics.
No, ghosts are real, vampires are real, werewolves.
Will is making a we'll see motion.
Yeah, maybe.
I think that there's no denying werewolves, but
What's the is there a weird fact you've learned while like researching the show that you didn't know?
What's my favorite fact? My favorite fact I've learned. Okay, actually, if my favorite episode, I think, like long-term probably the Bloody Mary episode. I did an episode on Bloody Mary, and I think my favorite fact that I learned was that so the game was like the Bloody Mary game was about was for little like it was kind of designed for little girls to do what scares them.
Sure.
And the name Mary, a lot of people say it might come from the fact that it sprung up from little girls trying to figure out who they were gonna marry, and so like that's like the like scary. So that's the really fucked up part is that the original name of Bloody Mary, a lot of people say it was someone named Mary Worth, and the reason that they think that might be the case is because a woman's worth was based around her husband, so that's where that name came from. So, but like stuff like that I like, where it's kind of just like you like hear it and you're like, oh, that kind of clicks and that makes sense. Is my favorite stuff when I find that.
Interesting. All right. Should we move on to like our topic for the for the night?
Sure.
Once again, if you just joined us, you're listening to Brian and Eric Don't Belong Here. We're here with Willie Muse, and you can call in actually right now. We're about to open up the phone lines at 518-282-4762. We wanted to talk about childhood fears. I think it's the most like vulnerable time. If you were the person who was thirstily calling, now's your time!
Yay!
Come back!
Can I ask, is it unprofessional if I ask you to hand me a beer?
It is not.
Yes.
Would you like a pumpkin beer, or would you like a...
I got pumpkin beer because I thought it would be thematic, and I was correct.
Oh, we got they're
oh man, they're
back.
back. They're back.
Yeah.
We got
So
a live
excited.
one.
I'm gonna turn up the... hello, you're on the air with Brian, Eric, and Willie. How you doing? Who is this?
I'm good. My name's Alex.
Hello.
Did you say Alex?
Yes, Alex.
I know you. Hi.
Hi, Willie.
How are you?
What's up?
Not much. How are you?
I'm tired, but I got a story.
No. Good.
Okay, so we're Alex, we're asking about you got to start us off strong. If you suck, this whole thing is gonna just go to hell.
I promise it won't suck.
Oh hell yeah! Oh shit, that's a good promise. Okay, let's hear it. Let's hear it. You take it away, Alex. Alex, you're in charge of the show. It's your show now.
Oh, cool. All right. So I'm 26. When I was 9, I had the room upstairs in my house, and the deck was next to my room. And there was one night I couldn't sleep. It was like past midnight, and I heard someone walking on the deck to my house.
What?
And they looked in my window and turned on a flashlight. My room was totally dark at that time.
Alex, no.
I got freaked out. But I was feeling a little brave and thought, maybe I should open the curtains.
No.
But then
Alex,
I changed
no.
my mind. I flipped on the lights and I ran down to my grandparents' room. I'm like, there's someone looking in my window. And my grandparents immediately got up. My grandpa went to the back door that leads to the deck, opened it up, and was like, get the fuck off my property, screaming. Didn't see anyone, though. My grandma was convinced it was a ghost. I know it wasn't a ghost.
But a ghost with a flashlight?
Exactly. So I was like, Grandma, no, it was totally a dude. So ever since then, I immediately moved to the room in the basement. I had put in blackout curtains. I filled up I had a glass block window. I filled it up with a bunch of like photos and stuff so people couldn't see through. To this day, I cannot sleep without a light on. I can't sleep without a television on for background noise because any like peep of noise and stuff freaks me out. And so my poor fiance didn't know this. And of course, he like, oh, let me turn off all the lights, keep all the blinds open in my room. And I'm just like, no. Because to this day, I'm still scared that someone's going to come in and look through my window.
Oh my God. That's harrowing.
Yeah, that's oh my gosh.
And that also just brings up the quirks of like adjusting the sleeping habits of another person. Now imagine like somebody's weird quirks of like my girlfriend also prefers to have a television on, which I was not a huge fan of. Eventually get used to it. But imagine that's also, I have PTSD from a fucking creeper coming in my window.
Well, that's a good thing too, because were you able to shut him up pretty good once you were like, here's what happened.
Well, I think having a panic attack in front of him at midnight probably was like a good indication.
That is good. I mean, honestly, if you can,
he now knows the drill.
Good.
Oh man.
So our fun like jump out from behind a corner and scare you games, or are those just like totally off the table?
I would come at you with a butcher knife.
Gotcha. I meant for your fiance, but yeah, that sounds
fair.
like it's not really an option.
Yeah, if Brenner pops out of
Yeah,
nowhere.
well, you probably should. I don't know you.
Yeah, that's just assault, right?
Yeah. Fuck.
And for the longest time, I actually kept like a brick under my bed.
Oh,
Wow.
And I was prepared to like smash someone over the. I'm kind of aggressive.
Sure.
You can't
I have
tell,
a question.
But
You were planning ahead. Of all the weapons to choose, why did you go with brick?
A brick would
I
fuck
found it.
you up.
Okay, you had the brick, but like you had, like there are knives, there's a bat, I feel like you could have invested a little bit in this.
I agree with Willard.
Okay,
it sounds like
but
poor planning on your
do-
part.
I do currently have a baseball bat. I also carry a really big knife with me everywhere I go because I'm paranoid about humans.
That's okay.
Do you in in a sheath or like a holster? How does that work?
Or just in your teeth.
Yeah. I'd keep it in my boot.
That would be cool. Wait,
Yeah,
is it?
I have a. Sorry, go on.
Does it switch open or is it?
Great question.
Oh, my knife! I know how to get it open really fast. It's not a switchblade, but
okay, so it's like
it's a 4-inch rainbow blade with like a naked mermaid on it. So
Ooh,
it
that sounds awesome.
Really fucking cool.
I feel like you could just show that to
pulled
someone
it on
and be
someone.
like, I have a
No,
naked
I pulled it on
mermaid
someone.
knife.
You have pulled it on someone.
I pulled it on someone. So here's another story if you're up for it.
Yes.
Sure, yeah.
I won this like party package for this ballpark village in town to go with a bunch of friends and get like discounted drinks and shit. So I went with a bunch of people, including my fiance, and one of my underage friends was with me, and this guy started hitting on her. And so my fiance told the guy to back off, and he started to threaten to beat up and kill my fiance in front of me.
Wow.
My fiance is kind of a quiet dude. I'm not. I turned around and I told him, I told him first off, I was like, you need to back the fuck up. And he refused, and he thought I was being cutesy. And I put my arm around like both my underage friend and my fiance, and I said, I'm like, don't touch them. Don't come near us. Go away. And the security guards are notoriously shit over there. Like, there's a lot of shootings. My friend's boyfriend actually works there and witnessed some guy get shot in the head. So
Wait, you said this was an Old West saloon, or where were you?
Yeah.
This is a carnival?
I live in St. Louis. We're the murder capital of the country. So, but this guy would not relent.
A lot of murdered ghosts.
This guy would not relent, and it was driving me nuts. And I like pulled it out of reflex because my hand was already on it in my purse. Because he wouldn't leave us alone, and I told him, I was like, I will shove this down your fucking throat.
Whoa!
And my fiance, like he was still not deterred, and my fiance like pulled him aside and was just like, she will fucking kill you. Yeah. She's not afraid to fucking kill you in front of all these witnesses.
Well, here's what I'll say.
His friends were like, back up, let's go somewhere else. But, like, the security guard was standing right there when he was, like, threatening to kill my fiance and did nothing. And so I was just like, I'm never fucking coming back here again.
Yeah. I'll say this. I don't know the situations of the story. I'll say your fiance was never more turned on by you than he was in that exact moment.
Oh, no, I know he was. I know.
Yeah, okay. Here's what... going back to your earlier story, it just reminded me, I was like, my room when I was a kid was in the top floor of the house, and then I just like, I'm talking about childhood fears. I remember like one of the earliest memories I have is, not earliest, but like when I was a kid, my mom like tucked me in, and my window was open, and I remember saying, Mom, could you close the window because I'm scared someone might jump in? And my mom, stone-faced, turns to me. I was probably I'm going to be generous and say I was 6 years old. She turns to me and she says, if he can jump into the window, then he deserves to get you.
Wow.
No, he could totally jump in the window, though.
No, it was higher. It was high to jump up. It was the second floor, so it wasn't like it would have been some. It would have been the best jump.
But he could still get in the window. Oh no.
Yeah, no, but I was like the other. My mom has like a fun. Like my mom's the sweetest woman in the world, but she has like a fun way. Oh, Brian, you'll like this story. So, my mom has like it's fun to remind her of these things because she's just like a mom. She didn't like think about everything she did. So when my brother was very into Ninja Turtles when he was a kid, and so my mom like one day was for some reason was like talking to him and like we were watching the movie and she's just like just so you know just like understand that like that's a movie, that's not how things are actually. And my mom and my brother was like, yeah, no, I know, Mom, I know Ninja Turtles and villains, they're not real. And my mom just turned to my brother and was like, no, villains are real. And my brother said that scarred him forever. And I was just, like, it's fun because my mom, if I tell her now, she will just feel very badly about it because it's something that she didn't know. But like at the time, it was just like, But yeah.
That's amazing. Alex, thank you so much for calling in. You got us off to a great fucking start.
That was
awesome.
A crazy story.
Yeah, you sound like a badass.
Yeah.
Congrats.
I try.
I look forward to our further conversations on Twitter.
Of course.
Have a good one.
Thanks again. Have a great night.
Bye-bye.
You too. Thanks. Bye.
Man, Alex rules.
Yeah,
Slash is terrifying.
Really cool. No one get on Alex's bad side.
For real.
Sounds like takes a lot to get there, and then it's just...
I mean, that's it. I mean, I feel like it just takes one creepy guy in your window to
just set off a whole chain of life events.
So just now you're Sarah Connor.
It is actually, I'm curious too, because there's like, I never had that. I never had the creepy guy in my window, but my brother did.
Really?
What is this? Window creepers.
I was using it like as a metaphor. My brother. So we went to this place that was like a kind of like a housing, like it was like a bunch of houses in like a complex. And when we were kids, we were it was like summer, and my brother and his friend like brought his friend down with him, and he went to the together, and like he was younger, and just when he was there, some guy came up with a gun and just like, and like my brother like ran and like,
whoa. And
I'm thinking about it now because I never thought about like, oh, that probably did have an effect on my brother's like well-being, because my brother's very like mentally like, there are three of us. This brother is the most mentally well-adjusted of the three. Like he's the middle brother, so he's like the kind of glue. Like he kind of like holds everyone. Like he's kind of. I feel like when like my family is like talking, like my parents will like talk and be like, "Hey, you guys decide something." The middle one is usually the one who like comes up with the answer and like forces everyone else to talk. So it's like I just never thought about like the effect because I never had.
Yeah, I mean that can do it. That can fuck you up.
A gun in your face, yeah. Yeah.
I'm just imagining a youth montage of Willie casually doing finger guns at his middle brother for all of his childhood.
Oh, we had guns. That's the thing. Like I'm not pro gun. I am pro toy gun because that was most fun I had as a kid.
Are we talking Nerf or like
Nerf.
replica?
Nerf. So the same brother. So when I was younger, we got to go out of the country. We went to Italy, and they had like when we were there. I don't know how this how my mom was like cool with this, but like there's like a market, like a open air market type thing where everyone is like selling their wares, and like there was one where it's like in hindsight clearly meant to be like ornate like decoration guns, but me and my brother clearly just like were like, oh, toys, we want this. So they were very realistic like revolver looking things that we like had our mom buy us, and we would like play around with them, and the way we lost them eventually is because my brother was playing around with them when we were going on a trip, and he packed it in his luggage, and it got taken away. And they were like, but here's how much things have changed, because he was probably like 13 at the time, and we were going, I forget where we were going, but they found it, like the person buzzed it or whatever, and we're like, this is a gun. And rather than just being like, what the fuck is wrong with you, they were like, so we either need to dispose of this, or you can rent out a locker and then you can come pick this up back when you like. It's like, no. We're like, first of all, no, we're not renting out a locker for a fucking toy gun, and second of all, how is that even like, how are you not like arresting my mom right now?
Right.
Like,
right.
It was a very realistic gun. It was,
oh man,
like it was like there was like wood involved. It was insane.
That's crazy. So we're talking about childhood fears, things that scared us when we were kids. We have a chat room on our Mixlr page. If anybody has any thoughts there, we can see you and you can write there. I think you might need a Mixlr account, but it's okay if you don't. Even if you don't, you can call us right now at 518-282-4762 and tell us all about things that scared you as a kid. Hey, Eric Brenner.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any, like, anything in your brain that, whether it's, and it's a broad question,
sure,
right? It's like,
sure,
it could be specific experiences like Alex's.
Uh-huh.
Do you have anything like that, or just like, nope, as a kid I didn't fucking like vampires?
I had a lot. So I'm gonna lead with one that's kind of silly, but it still to this day gets me a little spooked out.
Sometimes that's the thing of like kid logic, silly and actually scary are one and the same.
I've sent you this clip probably 13 times, and it is the clip from the episode of Webster. The show.
Where he gets molested?
No, that's that's a tough one. This is more scary. I don't know why, but this has stuck in my brain since I saw it when I was, I don't know, probably 6 years old, where he's visiting the other family's house and he gets lost in their house and gets locked in a room and he can't escape the room, and the only thing in the room is a little girl facing away from him in a rocking chair, just weirdly, slowly rocking back and forth. And he's freaked out because he's alone in this room. He's adorable little Webster, and he can't get out. You don't really understand as the viewer, like, why he's in there or how he got in or how he got separated from everybody. He has to climb, like, a weird ladder. But eventually he's trying to talk to the girl, and eventually he works up the courage to go over to her, and he, like, knocks her or whatever, and she kind of falls over, and it's just a doll. And then he falls asleep on the bed in this weird room, and then is later rescued by his parents. But here's where it gets weird. I think the room is either in the episode, it's the room of the daughter of the family, and she either, like, died or ran away, and they just, like, kept the room the same for years, creepily.
You have sent me this clip, and it's fucking terrifying.
It's actually really, I feel like describing it doesn't really do it justice. Willie,
I don't know. First of all, I was thinking of Different Strokes, and second of all,
Webster was like a Different Strokes episode, right?
Yeah. I know what you're talking about with Different Strokes. I know the molestation episode.
I know very little about Webster. I cannot see how any of the words you just described fits into an episode of Webster.
It's so bizarre. That's one of the reasons it's so scary. Is it just nothing about it makes sense?
Well, I think that's like a lost art of just bonkers family, like bonkers scary sitcom Halloween episodes.
Yeah.
I would say the greatest episode of television ever made to this day is the Boy Meets World Scream parody, where that one.
Shoot.
Scream.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
You've never seen that?
Great show.
I don't know if I've seen it.
That
I've heard you talk about it.
Best episode of television ever. So it's just like a.
We're hanging out later. You might need to show me that.
I will always. It's on Hulu now. I own all of Boy Meets World on DVD. I think that I've never laughed harder than just watching a fucking episode of Boy Meets World. I think it's actually like a very well done show.
It might be perfect.
And
it's close.
If you've never seen it's just they just get locked in detention, and then someone just starts picking them off one by one.
Like kids are dying?
Murdered. And
amazing.
It ends. Spoilers for this 20-year-old episode of television. It's a dream sequence. They don't actually kill Sean.
They cheap out.
Yeah, but it does end with them back in the real world, and then the killer from the dream just runs out of the thing, and it's never explained, but that always fucked me up. It was...
I mean, that'll do it.
If you want to watch every Halloween episode of Boy Meets World tonight, I will,
if we have some herbal assistance, I will definitely begin.
Yes.
Do you guys remember the Nickelodeon show Salute Your Shorts?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you remember the episode? And it's like generally people listen, this might be a little younger. But do you remember the episode with Zeke the Plumber?
Did you send me this clip?
I maybe did, because it's stuck in my fucking brain.
I just watched it.
That's her. I've heard, like, I think that's one of those things where you're not alone in being fucked up by this episode, because
there is a certain generation where you say Zeke the Plumber and they know what you fucking mean. So I remember seeing Zeke the Plumber. We were in Florida visiting my grandparents. I had maybe seen the episode before that, but even just watching the rerun, something just struck a chord. And Salute Your Shorts was a Nickelodeon live-action show that I think only ran for a season, and then they just reran that same season.
It's a great show, and not. We should preface this by saying not scary at all. Very funny.
Right.
Generally.
Right. It was about a summer camp.
Yeah.
Roasted, toasted, and burned to a crisp. What's up?
Yeah, it was about the kids going on scampy summer camp adventures. But there was an episode where they were being haunted by a character called Zeke the Plumber. And he was in this unsettling old man mask.
Oh, I have seen Zeke the Plumber.
Really
and
scary.
Nathan Yaffe, my friend and yours, is is just outside the glass room that we're in. And I'm trying to gesture to invite him in, but he doesn't seem interested.
He got a haircut.
He got a haircut.
It looks good.
Great.
Looks great.
He gets one haircut a year, like a dog getting groomed. No, a bear getting groomed. A Yeti.
Yes.
A Yeti.
So,
hey.
Wow.
Come on in, Nathan.
What are you guys doing?
Hey, Nathan, you're currently on Brian and Eric Don't Belong Here. It's our horror podcast that we broadcast live. Do you remember Zeke the Plumber from Salute Your Shorts?
No.
All right, you can go.
All right.
Why are you here so late?
Because I'm bad at time management.
Ugh.
Usually is the
Nice.
reason why I'm here late.
Nice.
Have a good show.
Good to see you, my friend and yours, Nathan Yaffe.
We're watching a horror
Thanks,
movie
man.
later if you want to watch it.
Oh,
At my house.
cool.
He doesn't want to watch it. Lying sack of shit.
That was a lie. Anyway, this is the professional level broadcasting we do.
Anything can happen.
No, anything can. I thought you said
I-
editing.
yeah,
can
I was like,
happen.
no, it
no, very
can't.
literally it can't. This is live.
Super can't.
That'd be a really weird way to say that. Editing can happen.
That should be our sign out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Editing can happen.
You just need to record it yourself and
Right.
do it for us.
Right. So yeah, Zeke the Plumber. I remember watching it. Like I said, it probably wasn't the first time I had seen it. Because you remember back in the day, you would just turn on Nickelodeon and you would just watch whatever episode of whatever show was on.
Yeah.
Could you imagine doing that now? Zeke the Plumber hit my brain so hard and I was somehow convinced. I think it was something about the idea of being alone in the bathroom. I don't know how old I was. Yeah, Willie just pulled up a picture, and it's very unsettling.
Very scary.
Guys, real fast, here's the confession. I had to take a shit, a little boy shit, and I made my mom come and watch me take a shit to make sure that Zeke the Plumber wasn't going to fuck me.
That's not good.
No, that's understandable. This is like genuinely. Well, we were talking about this earlier because we watched Goosebumps Mask something.
The Haunted Mask.
The Haunted Mask together. And there was something just so unsettling about it, and it wasn't like on purpose. It was due to the limitations of what they could and couldn't do. It made like they like lucked into the uncanny valley, and they ended up being terrifying. And I think that's what this is. It's just like it's creepy because they definitely had a budget of like $8, and this is what they could do, and like that is what like it. I think, like, especially when you're doing, like, a mask of something, it rings more true because, like, that's what, like, an actual murderer could do as opposed to, like...
Yeah, just a cheap, scary mask.
Although, one thing I will now, if I may transition a little bit.
Of course.
Just because we're talking about, like, kind of, sort of things of our generation that are kind of lost on younger things. And when you said, like, things that scare you... My thing is something I think that everyone had growing up of our generation, which was going into a video store and having one video thing, like one video there that scared you.
Mine was Faces of Death.
Hell yeah.
Mine was Hellraiser.
Ooh, that's a spooky one.
I've never seen Hellraiser.
Still?
We should watch
It's
Hellraiser.
awesome.
I haven't watched
It's a great movie.
Hellraiser. I mean, like...
One of the best.
Well, that's the thing is, like, there's a lot of... I think there's nothing scarier in, like, a young mind. Like, I love horror now. When I was a kid, I couldn't do it because I just assumed that horror was scarier than it actually was. So I would see Hellraiser, and I'd just imagine all the terrible things that it could be.
Those VHS covers left a lot to your imagination.
Yeah, or just like Texas Chainsaw Massacre or Child's Play. I watched Child's Play recently. Not that scary, but like
also not a great movie.
No, I remember. So when I was a kid, I don't want to age myself too much, but I was very young, and my parents had sent me and my brothers off to the movies, and they decided that we were going to see the Blair Witch Project.
I was just watching like a retrospective on that today.
And I remember being like, no, I am not old. Like, I can't deal with the Blair Witch Project. Everyone's talking about how scary it is. This is going to be like demons are going to fly out at me and like scratch in my face. And then I watched it. It's not that, like, you don't, like, it's, I guess in my head, like when I was a kid, like horror movies were just going to be just like, torture and just like real like visceral, just like there's stories to them. They're just kind of, and like I remember like laughing at the Blair Witch Project and like enjoying it. It was at the end of the day, it scared me, especially because I lived not too far from where Blair, Maryland was said to be. I lived in DC, so it was like I knew the parts that they were referencing. Like that, they got it really well of like what like a Maryland forest looks like, but it was like not as like nothing is scarier than the head of a child who's prepped to be scared.
Right, sure. A kid's imagination is possibly the most terrifying fucking place. I'm trying to think of other things that like spooked me out as a kid. The X-Files theme song.
Yes.
The glowing finger.
Yeah.
In the very scary.
Yeah, even just the music itself.
Great show.
I never watched the X-Files as a kid. Honestly, I'm not a huge X-Files fan.
Really?
I like episodes of it, but I can't just sit down and do it. I've seen episodes that I've really, really liked, and I've liked
super
both
surprising
movies.
to me. That's really Willie. Where do you shake out on the X-Files?
Okay, so I was too scared to like. So a lot of I think my taste in stuff was just kind of based on like what my family liked and like what. So there's a period where they would all watch the X-Files, and I wouldn't watch it because I'd be like too scared at the idea of it. And then when I kind of started to like do it, I was like, I'm gonna watch the X-Files now. But that was when David Duchovny had left, and it was just
the
worst.
it was the guy from Terminator 2.
So like those are my X-Files. I have some like vague recollection, like I have some vague idea of. I remember there's an episode where there's like a rat man that scared me.
Yep.
And I feel like I would have liked it. I feel like it's one of those shows. I'm trying to get more into like dramas to watch now, because I've been watching too much just like true crime people getting murdered, and I think that might be having an effect on my psyche. So I've started watching.
Almost definitely.
Yeah. I started watching like fake versions of that, so there's at least plausible deniability, and I want to watch the X-Files, but I do remember being very viscerally scared by the theme song.
Yeah.
Not the least of which because it meant that it was 9 o'clock on a Sunday and school was coming tomorrow.
I have a lot of 60 Minutes did that for me.
Oh yeah.
Woo. Do you guys remember the show Unsolved Mysteries?
Yeah.
I don't think I ever saw it.
That made me scared to be home alone for like, I don't know, years and years, because half of them are about children just being abducted and murdered and like sex trafficked.
I have 2 visceral memories with that, and I was tracking down the theme song on YouTube, and I can't find the specific thing that creeps me out. The music is pretty creepy. And Unsolved Mysteries was like a cheesy CBS sort of with those cheesy reenactions.
You know what's cool though? They helped solve a lot of mysteries.
Yeah, a lot of them were real mysteries,
real
and
crimes.
Stuff.
I think they all were.
But there was also like weird supernatural stuff in there too.
Yeah.
So I have 2 very vivid memories of that. One was in the theme song. There was a house with like a fog coming out the front door, and like that coupled with the music like affected me. There's also I remember nothing around it, but I distinctly remember being in my basement. On the last episode, I mentioned my basement had a furnished side and a creepy side. We were on the first side. My mom, I distinctly remember ironing clothes while watching TV. My brothers and I are down there playing. My mom has the TV on, and this episode is going. And I didn't like it when this show was on, but my mom didn't give a shit. Because, man, I'm just going to watch my fucking show, dude.
Yeah.
And the story was about, I can't remember what the context of this possibly could have been, but there's a little girl in the backseat of the car as the car is going over a bridge, and the little girl in the reenaction is going, and then we crashed, and that's how I died. I remember that. She's in her car seat. That's how I died. And I have no idea what the rest of that could have been, but that's so in my fucking brain.
I'll tell you one thing: you don't want to be the last one in that basement. When everybody starts going upstairs, generally, never the last one up the stairs.
No, that is absolutely the
to this day.
You guys ever see Cujo?
Yeah.
No.
Very good movie. But the scene opens. The little boy is like he's at his light switch, and he's looking back at his bed. And like as he's like playing with the light switch, about to turn off the lights, the distance between him and his bed is growing.
Oh shit!
And it's like, yeah, that is entirely what that feels like.
Yeah.
Oh god, no, that is literally like, yeah. When you're a kid and you turn off a light, witches, goblins, everything fill the room, and like there's like oh god, I have like so like. I still do. Like, if I'm, like, at my parents' house, or my mom's house, or my dad's house, they, like, I cannot be, like, in a basement. I think a basement is the worst.
It's creepy!
It's scary.
There's the idea of, like, there are people who, people sleep in basements, and I'm like, how do you sleep in basements? Because
Eric Brenner sleeps in a basement.
I sleep in a half basement. Yeah, it's a studio.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm terrified all the time.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
It hasn't gotten better. No, but I know what you like. A house basement specifically.
I feel like there's a difference because I feel like if your living space it's
a
below,
living room,
that's
it's
not
a kitchen.
Basement.
Yeah.
If you are in a house, a family home, and there's a designated basement spot.
Yep. It's got a furnace.
Yeah,
makes scary noises.
I remember because that's where. We had cable on that one TV in the basement, and so it was when I was a kid on Friday nights, Dragon Ball Z was late night on Toonami, and I would have to go downstairs and watch it, and then it'd be done, and I would like sprint for my life up the stairs to like get to my bed. Same. To like not be like, I don't even know. It just felt natural. It's the same feeling. It's like being in a room full of when your feet poke out a little bit from the blankets. Like that's like death. But
You're
for real
fucked.
though,
It's
so. One fun fact about me is that I was like, I have sleeping issues, and so like I need to feel like comfortable. Right now, I sleep against a wall. Yeah. Because I like to have be able to see where everything in front of me. When I was a kid, I used to sleep in a tent. I had a tent that was in the middle of my room.
I think that'd be scarier.
No, because I felt enclosed.
You're like a cat.
I mean, I think now if I did it, it would be scarier. Yeah, but when I was a kid, I was like, I have my tent. I'm in my area. I can be. I think the tent was against the bed, but it was. Yeah, I feel like there's just so when you sleep, there's so many angles. You realize how many angles you're around.
360 more than that even.
You know what? You could say infinite
if
you wanted
infinite
to.
Number of angles. Yeah.
And it's just it's I don't know.
I think what's so interesting is the rules you have as a kid.
Yeah.
For when you are safe and when it's you're running up, if you can get up the basement stairs and nothing gets your ankle or the back of your pants and you can get up, you're good. Nothing can it can't follow you.
I was afraid of vampires. I had the image of breaking into my room and drinking my blood. But if the blanket was over my neck, I was safe.
I do love the idea of a Dracula getting to your bed and just being like, God damn it!
Real hungry.
I took so many buses to get here. Yeah. Foiled again. No, but it's also when I saw the Blair Witch Project. In the movie, it did not scare me, but I got scared after the fact.
That happened to me a lot.
Where you and the things that scared me had nothing to do with the Blair Witch Project. And I remember running at night up the stairs to the back door of my house trying to get in and having I was afraid that the Blair Witch, who's not in the movie, was gonna sick a piranha on me because I came up with things to be scared of that were not based in anything, and it was just, ugh. But I mean, do you guys still get that? I feel those never kind of go. If I'm in the same places where I was scared, I'm still scared by that. I'm still
those emotions do transfer through time, if you will.
Well, I mean, if I'm sitting in my parents' basement, I'm still the kid in my parents' basement.
I was sure. Yeah. I can't sleep really in my parents' basement. I won't. If I visit, I'll go. If I fall asleep on the couch, I'll get up and go to my bed.
Oh my god! I've never.
Terrifying.
If anyone. Well, yeah. I mean, I guess. Yeah. I think it's even literally just the lowest because my dad's house doesn't really have a base. It has a basement, but it's not. It's more bedrooms. It's not a meeting spot. Yeah. So but just I don't want to be on the lowest rung of that house.
I'll tell you what's even scarier than a basement though, where I'll never go, an attic. Not going in an attic. No chance.
Well, I guess I've never really had an attic. I had a side-ick.
Sure.
Yeah.
There was a room in my brother's room, a door in a little door in my brother's room that you could open, and it was storage at the top.
Okay.
Top floor of the house, and that place was scary, but it was also fun to hide out. But I would never be in there alone,
hanging out.
Yeah.
I had in my childhood house, we had the full attic with the weird string in the ceiling, and you pull down the creaky stairs, and you go up into a weird room filled with weird shit.
And it's there's not even a floor.
Yeah,
You have to go on the rafters.
Correct.
Yeah.
And there's always like, for no reason, like a weird wedding dress that belongs to no one, like wrapped up in plastic, and it's like gray.
Yeah.
As I get older, I'm like starting to fantasize about the idea of like a home ownership. Not gonna happen, but I don't think that like if that were presented to me, I would be able to buy a house with an attic like that. Because I wouldn't want to know it's there. I wouldn't want to use it, and I wouldn't want to go up and make sure that it's empty all the time.
I say either fill it in or just flat roof it.
I would fill it with Skittles, maybe.
That's the least scary candy, too.
No, but then the Skittles would turn all red and start following me in the middle of the night.
That's true.
That's exactly how that would work. Guys, we're about out of time. Hey, Willie.
Yes, sir.
Where can we find you around the internet? Thank you so much for hanging out.
Yeah, this was really cool.
This is fun. Have me back whenever. The twitter.com. Did I say that right?
That is a popular website, yes.
Heard of it.
Willie Silly 2, and it's spelled IE on both counts.
Wow.
Yeah. And 2. Because I had Willie Silly 1, but then I deleted it.
With a number or a letter? Letters on the 2.
Number.
And
then, watch the Spooky Show. Watch your eyes read College Humor. And, that's...
Hell yeah. Dude, it was so good to have you on.
Yeah,
and
this was awesome.
I hope to have you back very soon.
Absolutely.
Eric, anything else we got to go over, bro?
I don't know. I meant to talk about how the original It movie...
Yeah, I think we gotta have a second childhood.
That's a whole other
I think we gotta have
episode.
a second childhood episode.
Yeah, we
because,
didn't.
Like, there's so many things.
Honestly, the way you're talking about this could be its own fucking sub-series. All said such like universal things that I didn't realize were universal.
Oh, totally.
Just childhood. What was your like weird childhood rule? Should be like.
Absolutely.
Once a week.
Yeah.
It's so there will definitely be a childhood fears or just childhood logic part too, because I do think that is a large well of where our spookiness kind of comes from. Because you don't understand how the world works.
And even outside of the childhood rules thing, like what's so cool about all of the occult stuff is that it all has rules.
Yeah.
There's always boundaries.
Well, I think that's also kind of what occult stuff is like making your own rules and like sticking to them. So it's like I'm going to be in control of these are the rules of like people killing me for no reason because it's like better than just the idea that you can go out and get hit by a car.
Right, right. This was Brian and Eric Don't Belong Here. We're live every Friday at 7 p. EST. We have a phone number. We have a chat room. You can call in and interact with us while we're doing this thing. And then the show is not currently available on your podcast app of choice. It is currently just available on SoundCloud in the future. But it will be on all of those things, hopefully, in the future. And I hope that you subscribe to them on those places in the near future. So that's us. Let's see. Music is by purple-planet.com, which we ripped for free. And our intro and outro music are donated by Moris Blak, who you can check out on Spotify. He fucking rules. Have a great week, everybody. We still need a sign-off. We don't have a sign-off yet. Willie, do you have any ideas on what a potential sign-off could be?
Wait, it's Brian and Eric shouldn't be here?
Don't belong here.
Don't belong here. We don't belong here. Goodbye.
We don't belong here. Goodbye.
So we gotta go. See you guys.